Hello, this is Way of the Exploding Fist. That's Way of the Exploding Fist for Commodore 64 by Beam Software, an Australian company. And this was a pretty big hit back in the day on C64. The reason I'm playing this in particular, well, there's a couple reasons, but Beam actually released their, when was it? It was in the 90s at some point. They released on their website some of their 8-bit games for free download. You could just download their ROMs, apparently. You can find that on archive.org. I'll have the archive.org link to their old website archive version where they list the games they released for free. So there's that, and I actually had a game very similar to this one on the C64 back in the day. See, this is a PAL game. Beam was Australian. They tended to make their games only for PAL, Commodore, or other systems, I guess, at least on the Commodore. They didn't release stuff for the 60 frames per second North American NTSC video, whatever, that the US Commodore 64s had. So this game never came out in the States. It only came out in PAL territories, where it's quite popular, but there was like I said, a game that came out on C64 in the US 11 months later that was called International Karate, published by Epix, and that was a huge hit in the States. And I actually had that game back in the day. I thought that was pretty cool, but I heard about this game a while back. I was listening to the Zapped to the Past podcast, which just talks about Commodore 64 games, and I looked it up at that point, and I thought, man, this looks pretty cool. It's got a cool vibe to it. Kind of this chill vibe. And I was like, man, I wish I'd known about that game, but it never came out in the States, so it wouldn't have really mattered, but I know about it now, and you can just download it for free. You can't get it off their old website, but I'll put a link to where I got it off lemon64.com, and then like a week later, Lemon put up a huge update to their website that removed their they had a quite handy list of the, you know, like the games that whose publishers had given permission, you know, at some point for them to be free. And they had those games, those legally downloadable games, available on their website for download. So for some reason they took that off. Maybe it was proving to be a headache of some kind for them anyway. But there's other places you can get them, of course. So I'll have a link to one of those. A couple other companies or people that spring to mind that have released their old commercial C64 games for free. Jeff Minter, who does like Llamatron and all kinds of crazy arcade-style psychedelic shooting games. He's got them right on his website these days. He's a pretty up-to-date guy. Jeff Minter, and Cinemaware, who made Defender of the Crown and all kinds of stuff. They, around 2007, if you look up Cinemaware on Wikipedia, they have a link to the old Cinemaware site from about 2007 on archive.org, where they have a part of their old site at a place called The Vault, where they just made available to the old ROMs of their old games to download, like for Amiga and Amstrad and C64 and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, let's play some Way of the Exploding Fist. So this demo is pretty much showing you what the game is. It's one-on-one. Actually, I should mention that Beam Software, among the games they released on their old website for free, there were other games later in the series. The Fist series, I guess maybe it was called, I don't know. They didn't release the second one, which I think was more of a beat-em-up or something, but they did release, I don't know if it was the third one, but they just called it Fist Plus now. I think it had a slightly longer name in its initial release, but So Fist Plus is another one of theirs that you can quote-unquote legally download. That one is 3-on-3 actually, so it's kind of a lot more manic. It doesn't kind of have the just zen-like quality of this one kind of has, so I like this one. It is more polished in terms of controls and stuff, which are sometimes a little tricky. So I'm gonna hit F3, which you'll see the one player at the top. It'll toggle that to 2-player, or not. What am I hitting here? Hello, F3. Hello. Okay, it's not doing it. I don't know why. I'm using a different keyboard. Maybe that's why. Try my regular keyboard now. Oh wait, I wasn't focused on the emulator. I'm running these in the Vice emulator. There we go. Vice seems to be one that's recommended as the best C64 emulator. I'm running the game at, so it is a PAL game, so I'm running it at 50 frames per second. YouTube does handle 50 frames per second, so if you check the resolutions that you can run this video at, you should see 50 frames in there, depending on your device, I guess. So now if I start the game by pressing my fire button, so now this is in 2-player, so I can show you the moves. It's a weird control scheme. So this game and the International Karate, the timer's running, basically stole the gameplay from a game published by Data East and made by Technos Japan called Karate Champ. And that game uses, you can get that on, for instance, Hamster has a arcade archives version of Karate Champ on modern consoles and stuff. Karate Champ looks a lot like this. I mean, the characters look almost the same, but that game in the arcade it didn't use a stick and a button, it used 2 sticks. So you would move a combination of one stick one way and the other stick the other way, and that would determine what move your character did. I tried to play that game, well, and I guess the arcade archive version, I don't remember if they were using like twin, I guess they were probably using like twin analog sticks to approximate that. Anyway, I found that completely baffling to try to play. I couldn't handle that. So this game and International Karate, they of course were adapting that. Well, they were adapting that sort of game into a game that you could play on a regular arcade stick, like C64. Joysticks only have a single fire button for the most part, so they had to try to figure out how to get that scheme, how to get a kung fu style input scheme with a joystick with 8 directions and a single button. So it's a little weird, but when the heck did this game come out anyway? I forget now. Hang on, I need to know. Okay, Wikipedia will tell me. 1985. Kung Fu Champ, or Karate Champ came out the year before. So in this game, you can actually do moves without pushing a button. For instance, if you push up forward there, it does a high punch. I'm controlling the guy in white, by the way. So for instance, I can just walk up. Oh wait, no, it's game over. Let's start over. Okay, I can just walk up and up forward without pushing a button. If I can do it right, I should probably just use the keyboard. The key, it's actually kind of fun to play this game on just like using just the directional keys and like the Z button. Anyway, so up forward is that punch, down forward is a lower punch to the chest. I don't have the range on these down yet, which of course will be rather critical. If you pull down, that crouches, and then if you push down forward from the crouch, it does that, which is a very painful looking punch and still don't understand the ranges, but I'll get it eventually. If you go into this pose, see, and there's blocking as well, so this, when you're holding down, you're blocking. At least you're blocking mid. So if you do this against the CPU gets really worried and will stand there just looking at you for a while, but oh, I missed. I'm gonna get you there. See, that looks real painful. Yeah, that guy's not having fun. Now this is where it gets pretty weird. Down back, just the stick, does a backflip. Up back does a forward flip. It's like, okay, I still haven't really wrapped my head around that. And back and forward just move left and right, like you would expect. Up does this little hop, which looks weird. The hop can actually dodge a sweep, but how you would know? Well, I guess the sweep is pretty slow, and I guess they probably made it sort of slow on purpose, so it's got a couple frames of animation, so if you saw somebody doing that, in theory you could hop and you would dodge their sweep just by pressing up. So okay, I did a sweep using the button. So the button commands, if you just push the button without moving the stick, it doesn't do anything. If you push forward and push the button, it does this kick, which has pretty good range, right to the sternum. A forward kick does a high kick to the face. It doesn't have as good range. Down forward with the button kicks the ankle, which looks pretty painful, and they just fall over kind of weirdly. But that's what that does. So down and button does a sweep. It is pretty slow because it first goes into the crouch and then a couple frames of animation until the sweep actually comes out. But the sweep has good range, and if the opponent isn't protecting their toesies, they could get hit. Actually, I don't know if you can block. I don't think you can block, though, actually, so they would just have to be at the wrong range for you to hit with that, or be doing the jump. Up plus button does a jump kick, which is kind of hard to hit with. But if you do get it going, then it's pretty effective because there's not... I guess there is a high block, but it's hard to see this coming. But it has to be, it's really a narrow range. And if the opponent is like moving or doing pretty much anything, then you'll probably miss. Up back button does a back kick like that, which you're saying, well, what is that? Well, so in most modern fighting games, you automatically turn to face your opponent when you move past them. Not the case in this one, and that makes it kind of tricky. But so they have actually they have 3 attacks you can do on your opponent. You can do up back when you're behind them. You can do up back for that kick, and it has less range than it looks like because your character is actually leaning forward. I meant to do the up back. Does that flip? Okay. There. And then back, just straight back. Oh, that actually does not do a back attack. I forget. That's a forward attack, which also doesn't have that much range, and it's very slow. So it's kind of a weird attack. They did sort of probably smooth some of these attacks out for Fist Plus, but I just find that way too manic. It doesn't even matter. It's just so... Okay, so there you saw me turn around. I didn't mean to, but if you release the button early during that long spin attack, your character turns around. So I think that's actually how you have to turn around, basically, is by pushing back and the button for just a split second. Don't hold it, and then your character will turn. It's kind of bizarre. And they have to make that weird sound. Now, the CPU can turn around without making that sound, so maybe there's some other way to do it. I don't know. I should look it up, but whatever. And then down back does a back sweep, which is also kind of bizarre. And it's kind of tricky range. Oh, come on. I totally got his front. Oh. So, yeah, that'd be tricky to land. Like Fist 3 adds a little elbow hit where you can just sort of like shove your elbow back to hit somebody. Like if I was here, I could do this little elbow thing, but that gets like way too deadly in Fist 3. Like everybody on the CPU just does it constantly. If you get into a sort of confused muddle like about here, they'll just elbow you. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so those are the moves as far as I know them. Maybe there's some other stuff I've missed. So this is just the demo. I'm going to go ahead and going to try to play, I guess. I'm scared. But I'm going to switch this back to one player. Uh-oh. I have to hit F3. There we go. Real good on the keys. Okay. Okay, here I go. Now, oh, it's not going yet. There we go. Oh, he went for the low blow. Now, the opponent in the first couple matches is not very good. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, he blocked that. I'm not very good. But sometimes okay, let me do that. So if you crouch, he gets real nervous. Oh, come on. See, he blocked. Come on. Come on. Come on, what are you worried about? What? Oh, too bad. So anyway, it does get tough. Now, I was reading, I think it was a user review or something on, maybe on Lemon or one of these other sites for C64 stuff, saying that in this game, as opposed to later games like International Karate or something, in this game you could just kind of use the same move to beat the CPU repeatedly, and I'm not sure if you can do that like all the way through, because once I get a little way through, the CPU starts getting really tricky. Ow! And I certainly get owned. I was blocking, so I was holding back and it was blocking. I don't know where it was blocking. I'm hitting all kinds of wrong buttons. Oh, that was stupid. I'm doing stupid fancy moves. He beat me. So I got up to first Dan rank. Alright. I've gotten to the third. If you, as you win fights, you eventually get to different backgrounds. I've got to, I guess, the fourth background, I think. Just messing around. Oh, nice sweep. But you get some really interesting little exchanges. I mean, the way that... Oh, this game is one hit. Well, that was a quick loss. Didn't even gain any rank. It's kind of intense. And also, it's just this very zen thing, because it's always the same opponent. It's this weird music. The music I've read was taken from a 1950s Chinese composition. And I was listening to a podcast interview with the programmer for the game, and he would call it Kung Fu game interchangeably. I mean, of course, it was based on a Japanese game called Karate Champ, and karate and kung fu are not the same thing, but, you know, this was back in the 80s, and Americans didn't always make that distinction between Japanese and Chinese martial arts, for instance. So you've got sort of Japanese martial art with Chinese music, all run through an Australian developer's filter, basically. Ow. And I'm playing it in a C64 emulator that was started by a Finnish person. And I'm American, so you got all kinds of stuff going on here. Oh, I didn't want... Oh, crumbs. lost. Gosh dang. Okay. You saw there I got up to 3rd Dan once in this little quick save I'm running off of. I think in this particular cracked version, I think you can sort of save your high scores actually if I had a real C64 or wanted to bother with doing that, but I'm just using like quick saves instead. It's a lot faster to load the game if you don't go through like simulating loading the game from cassette tape. I never had a cassette loader for the C64. My dad got the 1541 disk drive or something, which supposedly I think had like a faster CPU than the C64 itself, which was just slightly over 1 megahertz. The C64 in the States, the PAL one is even slower. It's slightly below 1 megahertz. And the disk drive was actually had a faster processor, I think. But the disk drive apparently was not well. Like the C64 was ended, and I didn't know this at the time. I've learned this recently. The C64 is super popular in Europe. Like this game, this Australian game, but they had a publishing office in the UK. It sold 500,000 copies in the UK, which is pretty good, considering that International Karate, the very similar game that came out in the States 11 months later, that was considered a huge hit, and that sold 1.5 million copies in the States. So, you know, the UK alone had a third of that for this game, which probably means it was per capita more popular in the UK than International Karate was in the States. Now, International Karate had a follow-up called International Karate Plus, which had 3 characters at once. Oh, that was a sweet kick. I got trampled. So there's the third background. So Beam Software then basically stole the Plus name convention and the 3 character thing and made Fist Plus and made it the three fighters at once thing. But I think I read that in International Karate Plus you couldn't play 3 characters at once. It was just like 2 plus a CPU, 2 players plus a CPU if you wanted to do that. But in International Karate, or in Fist Plus, apparently you can actually have 3 players playing at once. I don't know. And, like Data East, who published Karate Champ, which was pretty much the basis for these games, and it looks extremely similar. Data East didn't sue Beam or their publishing wing, Melbourne House, over this game. And maybe that's just because Data East wasn't really paying attention to the European market. But when Epix published International Karate in the States, which was like this, very similar looking to Karate Champ, and it was a big hit in the States, Data East did sue them. Sued Epix, I think Epix. And not using punches, I should... Oh no. So if you both score a simultaneous hit, then it resets and nobody gets a do-over, basically. Well, I lost. I don't really know like when to use what attack, you know, and that's pretty much crucial to this game. I blocked. Inadvertently. It's interesting how the blocking is very organic. Like, I don't know how to block specifically, but sometimes it just works. But Data East did not win the lawsuit against Epix, against International Karate, for imitating Karate Champ, and the judge, I think it was a judge said that they couldn't just have a copyright on an entire sport. So he was looking at it from the point of view of this is representing a sport, and you can't copyright just having a game based on a sport, a specific sport. That, I think if that happened these days, that would be a different ruling, because, you know, even just the drawing style of the characters is super similar. And you could certainly say, granted, it's, you know, lower resolution and fewer, a smaller color palette and stuff. Wow. But you could draw these characters in more than one way, you know. They didn't have to draw them so similar to the Karate Champ style. So I think the judge might have just, I think Epix benefited from a judge who wasn't maybe, you know, they're just not as cognizant back in the mid-'80s of how games worked and the variety of stuff you could do now. Like I said, it's a more limited system you're working on, but still, you could have drawn the characters a multitude of different ways if you really wanted not to look like an imitation. And I think I read on Wikipedia that Beam had been planning to sue Epix, you know, saying that they had ripped off Fist, Way of the Exploding Fist, with Epix International Karate, but then they saw the outcome of the Data East lawsuit. Now Data East didn't win against Epix, and they figured, well, we're probably not going to win either, so just let that one go. This reminds me, I think maybe it was at my neighbor's house who would let us come over and watch movies and eat corn dogs at his place. He was pretty cool, you know, kind of weird uncle sort of way. Oh no. And, you know, there was the old, like Kung Fu Theater on Saturdays or something. I don't know when it was, but they would show, like, just weird martial arts movies. This is, you know, when I was a kid, so this is back in early 80s or whatever, and or mid 80s, I suppose. And it's just about the time this game came out. And there was one movie, I don't remember the name of it. I could probably find it if I really put my mind to it, where the bad guy had this big scary attack. He would sort of pull up his cloak around his to sort of chest height, and then hide his other hand behind it in a sort of clenched fist, except I think he had like his middle knuckle forward or something, and a specific little scary, you know, supposed to be the specific death punch that he was readying his death punch behind his little cloak, his cloak that he had pulled over his fist. And so you could see as the of course the spectator, you were like, oh no, he's getting ready to do his death punch, look out, you know, look out, hero guy, he's gonna do his death punch. And you know, obviously he probably didn't succeed against the hero, but he killed a bunch of people before he faced the hero that way. So this kind of reminds me of that, like, oh no, he's gonna do his death ball punch, watch out, no. Anyway, that's just me entertaining myself. So this is an early fighting game, essentially. I mean, this is 85, and you didn't get what is, you know, kind of the first really modern fighting game, Street Fighter 2, until what, 91 or whatever. So, and if you just read sort of a smattering of stuff about oh, nice jumping, he's gonna get me, about old fighting games, it'll say like Karate Champ is kind of the first big fighting game, but even then, looking at that, I think those articles will say, oh, there was this other game as well. But actually, there were a ton of fighting-like games back then. There's an excellent Hardcore 101 article that just has a lot of games that had fighting style stuff going on before Street Fighter 2, and if I can find that again, I'll put a link to that in, because that sort of open. Wow, got him in mid-jump. That sort of opened my eyes to like, geez, there were a ton of fighting games, really. You know, you would say maybe these aren't fighting games as we know them now. They didn't have, I mean, this doesn't have turning to face your opponent. Oh, come on. We did the same kick and he only, oh, I should have done something better. Shoot. Oh, just punch him in the chest. Oh. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Sweet. Yeah. I mean, probably the direct way is the best way most of the time, really. Oh, except he knew. Oh, you want? Dang it. Dang it. Well, that's the best I've done so far. But I kind of like just zoning. You get into a sort of weird groove with this game because it's got this speed to it, this sort of very deliberate speed. And that's why I was saying I kind of like just noodling around with it with my keyboard, you know, not even bothering to set up the joystick, just stick the keyboard in, or the keyboard's already in, just boot up my my quick save, which loads in about, 0.01 seconds. Gotten pretty good at turning around on the joystick at least. And just you just kind of chill out with the game. It's kind of cool. It's Chinese composition that it's running through. It's 3-voice music chip or whatever. Now, admittedly, I kind of like the first two fights where the opponent is not very good. Like in International Karate, you have the same basic setup, although your characters are lower on the screen, which I don't really like. I kind of like them not quite so low, so they feel like they kind of... Wow, how many blocks did I do? But also, it did have your old sensei in the background there judging the combat. I guess he's, I don't know if we're both supposed to be his students or something. His long whiskers, and... But in International Karate, he's always saying stuff. He has a speech bubble that comes up and declares like who won, or it says like white or red or something like that, depending on who won. And this guy's just chill. This sensei's just like, he's not saying nothing. He's just like, yeah, you guys know what to do. Or you better. Like, if he doesn't teach no fools. It's closer up here. I didn't realize really until, like 2 days ago that the C64 has, where did I see that? I was reading some article about the C64 has a fixed palette of 16 colors. So, every game has to use the same 16 colors as every other game. So you got this crazy canary yellow as the background color. But it definitely makes designers, I mean, I kind of like, I like the 8-bit stuff like that, where designers had to make specific choices and hard choices, and you had to do a lot with a little. I think that's pretty cool when it works. Of course, a lot of C64 games just look hideous, or it's sort of notorious for having just a lot of games that are just brown, just very brown, because the C64, it had a couple brown shades, and then it had a red shade that was like his gi there is red, but you see it's kind of a muted, it's almost a brown, and then the pink color on the doors or the folding wall or whatever in the background, that's also kind of brownish, so it's very heavy on brown, so a lot of games just leveraged brown for a lot of stuff. This game, though, is very vivid. Oh my gosh. Take that, jerk. That's not what I wanted. Oh, that's right. See, I don't use, like, up-forward kick much. I haven't been using the jump kick much. I gotta learn the range for all this stuff. See, the up forward kick is actually shorter range than I keep thinking it is. And it's like, why would you use that when it's slower? It doesn't really have... Well, I guess it's probably slightly farther range than the punch. Yeah, it's gotta be. And then that the spin kick, back kick, is really slow. Does that have better range than up forward kick? Yeah, it looks like it probably has slightly better range. But it's so slow. Dang. I wanted to punch, but there's that mental switch where you can do an attack without a button, and I don't always get that. Biff. Okay, we both have a point and a half. Oh. Shoot. Biff. I didn't mean to flip back. I just, you hit that diagonal and it just goes down, back, does a flip. It's crazy. Man, this music's so chill. Oh. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot, he blocked that. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, they survived that one. Ooh. Oh, he blocked. Oh, oh. Oh, that weird sound. Yeah, that peninsula or whatever in the background kind of looks like a crazy brown skull. Well, see, that canceled out. That's creepy, actually. There's a little sailboat out there in the bay. Oh, shoot. I wanted to punch. Gosh, dang it. I'm slow to initiate punches. It's just weird to not hit a button. Oh! Ugh. Man. Just not getting the third down. The colors are so intense, I can't run this game at full screen. Even on my not, gigantic computer monitor. It's not like I'm running it on a big screen TV or anything, but when I put this on full screen on my monitor, it's just like, whoa, that is way too much yellow in my face. So I'm running it windowed and just use my recording software OBS to scale it up in a nice chunky pixelated way, which Vice is also doing, so it's sort of double pixelated, baby. Big old chunky C64 resolution. Kind of like watching these demo guys go at it. They're pretty good. Although they do silly things once in a while. Ooh, that was a good kick. I gotta get jump kick down, man. You can do a lot of stuff with that if you're on the ball. Ooh. Oh man, he was panicking. White was like trapped. He didn't know what to do. Fight for your sensei's love. Ooh. I wouldn't have thought that would have hit that close. Oh, he got swept right back. Dang. So wait, was that only half a point? Are certain hits half a point? I guess I don't understand that yet. So that was a hit to the back. That was a half point. That was a hit to the shin. That was a half point. That was a sweep. That was a full point. I don't know. That was a back kick to the head. That's got to be a full point. Yeah, okay. That was a sweep. That's a full point. No, that's only a half point. Well, why? I don't know. I should probably read a FAQ or something. Okay, I'm gonna go look up a FAQ. It's gotta be a FAQ, right? Game facts. Hey. Where did I see that move list? I don't remember. Shoot, maybe there aren't any facts. There aren't. There's a guide for the NES, but that would be different. Well, let's see what this one says. It's a nice fancy HTML. The NES one had... Oh, I guess this one has a point system too. Oh, the NES one was an unreleased prototype. That's right, yeah, it didn't actually come out on the NES. So apparently the NES, that prototype did get leaked or something, but or dumped, but it does crash apparently. Oh, come on, I want to know stuff. Wait, there's different fighters in the NES one with names? Jeez. Okay, I gotta find A of the Exploding Fist Guide. Strategy Wiki. World of Spectrum. Way of the Exploding Fist Guide and Walkthrough. C64 Wiki. Den of Geek. Let's see, what does Den of Geek have? Oh, they're talking about the Spectrum version anyway, alright. The Spectrum version came out first. Or wait, did it? I don't remember. No, I'm thinking of International Karate. The Spectrum version for International Karate came out a lot earlier than the C64 one, but after Way of the Exploding Fist. Way of the Exploding Fist, that was C64 first. Okay. C64 Wiki has some stuff. Okay, here it is. Well, there are 15 actions. 8 kicks, 3 punches, 2 somersaults, crouch, and leap. Yeah. Okay, looks like just the same stuff I already... it's just the directions and a button or not a button. If you want to get many points, there are only 3 of them sensible. Talking about the moves high punch, which they call top right, I guess I would say up right. Jab, bottom right, or down right, and a low kick to the leg, down right, plus fire. These 3 techniques are the fastest. All the other kicks need too long until they are conducted. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's a buffalo punching mini game in this game, but I think it wasn't in early versions of the game, so I'm not sure which version this is. I've never seen a buffalo. It says after each last opponent in front of the Buddha statue. Oh, I guess that's that stage, so I haven't got to that stage. I don't see anybody talking about, and there's reviews here on C64 Wiki, but I don't see anybody talking about when you get a point versus a half point. Giant Palm does not actually have a guide. StrategyWiki.org just has a list of control. Yeah, say I have a walkthrough. Oh no, doesn't exist yet. That's not helpful. Well, I can't find why you sometimes get a point versus a half point. There's all kinds of stupid spam on the game facts board. Alright, well, let's give it one more go. Did I already say that? Whatever, who cares? So according to the guy who wrote that guy or person, you want to stick to the 2 punches and the down forward kick is the fast attacks, which makes a certain amount of sense. Really know if I want to follow that strategy, but it's working so far. But of course these guys are easy to beat. He didn't let me get in. Like, he could in theory hit me with a kick as I try to approach him, but he's the punch actually has more of a wider hit zone than I would have thought. Like there, I thought I was too far back. Oh. See, there I thought I was too close, actually. Well, great, that guy's advice has ruined the game for me now. Oh, see, he out-strategized me there. Oh my gosh. We only got a half point for each of those. You punk. Dang. Ah. He's blocking. Ooh, not that. Shoot. Oh man, I got a higher score than I did the time I got the third Dan. Well, I guess, take that third Dan. I guess the key would be knowing when. See, he's too good at avoiding the sweep, knowing when to do a different attack than those three. So, oh, he blocked the nut punch. He blocked the high punch. Stop blocking everything. We're only novices. You can't do that. You can mostly get away with running this game in NTSC mode, in Vice anyway, but it does start to show some like horizontal lines here and there, cutting through the character sprites or something, or sometimes it just gets stuck. And of course it's running a little faster and the sound's a little off. That was some fancy jumping, son. Ooh, kind of looks like you're just ripping their heart out. See there, I thought I was too close for that, but that punch just kills, man. I do like that kick, though. That kick is not very slow. Oh! I went for high punch, he went for low punch. Here, have a low punch of yourself, of your own. Yeah, were you thinking about mid? I guess it's mid punch. This one's low punch. What do you want? You want it? You want it? It's here waiting for you. It's not going anywhere. Oh. You ruined it. Hey. Oh my gosh, he blocked it. Shoot. I keep trying to do a jump kick, and I got him in the air. He hopped into that. Wow. Ooh. Okay, can I get the third Dan? Ah. Oh, come on. I did the wrong way to turn around. Straightforward. Oh, that only got me a half point. Oh! Oh, he got a full point for that, of course. How did he block my low kick? Man, third Dan is just... Ah, okay. Last time. I kind of went away from that move in the last one. Oh! See, it's so slow, but it got me. Okay. Not good enough to use those fancy kicks. Oh, God. Just chopped. How can you know? Jeez, this guy. Like a novice, I try to do fancy kicks and he just tears me apart. Oh, man. I'm gonna land one of these. That's not it. Got it. Not the spin kick, though. I gotta land a spin kick. Oh, come on, man. God. He's gonna crouch every time, huh? Yeah, I did it. I wonder if that gets you more points. I think I got 1,000 points for that kick. Because that only got me 300 points. Yes, you get more points for the fancy moves. These blood-curdling screams. Oh, that's only 100 points. You can get at least 10 times that by doing a fancy kick. Oh, that... I think I released the button too soon because it didn't do the full extension. There we go. Oh, that was only 500. Maybe I... But that was only half point. Yeah, so why is it sometimes only half a point? See, that was a full point. It's just like timing or like how solidly it judges you hit them with it based on their pose or something. That was only a half point. That was only a half point. It's another half point. Ah, shoot. These are all half points. Of course, you can never get over 2 full points, I suppose, even if you were on a 1.5 and you did something that might have gotten you a full point. But maybe full point's an illusion. Maybe I'm just imagining it. But that was a full point, right? I don't know. Whoa. Oh, come on. Uh-oh, time's running. Oh, that's okay. Just gonna let time run out there. Okay. Oh, it took my point away. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that doesn't reset the timer, maybe? Shoot. It took my point away, man. That would happen to me on second turn. Oh, there's a point back. Oh, but it's hard to get in on him. I wanted to go back to punches, but it's hard to get in on him now. And he blocked. Okay, cut the punch. One and a half points each. Oh, come on. Ah, he did the ankle kick. I was going for the full kick. You scumbag. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to stop. This game's really fun, though. Pretty sweet fighting game. I gotta say, I do kind of love that canary yellow now. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this game's probably better than most fighting games on the market today. Like, you know, why isn't your game better than Way of the Exploding Fist? Well, they were just better than you at making a fighting game. I mean, think about what's compelling about a fighting game and why all the fancy nonsense in your game isn't getting it done. You know? Ooh. Yeah, this game rules. I mean, I can't really believe it. I can play this now in a really good emulator and that they released it for free download back in the 90s. That's amazing. Like, I don't even know. I was looking for other C64 games, you know, like free downloads that I would be interested in, but I couldn't really find anything. Not really into Beam Software's other games. Not really too interested, I don't think, in Cinemaware stuff. We had Defender of the Crown back in the day, of course. I think I watched my brother play it mostly. I wasn't that into playing it. Whew. I mean, I liked International Karate, and International Karate's got a really cool soundtrack, which again is a sort of borrows a tune from something else, which I guess was probably... Oh, that was sweet. Man. But it's not as chill as this, and the backgrounds aren't quite as... They're very sort of hard and defined, whereas these backgrounds are kind of weird, you know? They're kind of dithery and messy and sort of and also very so vibrantly colored. It's kind of like a hallucinatory landscape. You can kind of just trance out, you know? It's not like reality poking you in the eye. It's just weird, crazy colors, man. Like the sensei there is just blending in with that river, you know? That's how zen he is. Sweet jump kick. I gotta get good at jump kicks, man. But I see, I always get blocked. Oh, they're going all fancy kick on each other. Oh! Wow. Shoot. Oh. Gotta watch your toes. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop. This game rules. Way of the Exploding Fist I'll will have a download link or two in the description. I'll have a link to the archive.org version of the old Beam site where they list the C64 games that they made available. Of course, the old download links don't work. I think they're going to some FTP site or something that doesn't exist anymore, but you can find their stuff on a ton of different places on the internet now, of course. Put anything else on there? No, that's probably enough. So yeah. Oh, well, I guess I'll put a link to the Vice emulator, which is easy enough to find if you just Google, like, Vice C64 emulator, of course. Vice is pretty sweet. I just love watching these guys. Oh, God. Man, why isn't there like a... There needs to be a Way of the Exploding Fist tournament at Evo. Or Evo, is that, you know? I mean, they have stuff like, what's that game that came out that's just dive kick? They have dive kick, right? They had like a side tournament and dive kick. Didn't somebody hold one of those? Like, where's Way of the Exploding Fist, man? Whoa. I wonder how many points that's worth. I guess I could try to find out. Let's see. Okay. That was only 400, but it was only half a point. Like if that was only 300. Oh, that was 800. See, that was only 400. And it's not doing cumulative, like, 2 points. It's only playing to one hit, basically. But it's going up to score. Does it go to 6,700, or is that just the highest score somebody's got? Oh, maybe it's first to... No, I don't know what it is. Like, when does 2 players stop? There's a timer. It's not resetting very much. Maybe it's just a 30-second match. That was worth 400. Well, it didn't reset my score. Gave us a fresh 30 seconds on a new background. What about, That was a full point. That was 600. Or wait, that was 800, I think. That was only 400. That was 800. Maybe you just gotta be slick, like I didn't screw up my jump in that time. That was only 400. I don't know. Oh, come on. That was 500? That was 1,000. Oh, so it just keeps going, I guess, but at some point I think these two-player matches were ending on me when I was messing around before. That's definitely a fast attack. Maybe that's my problem. I wasn't holding the stick down, because you have a little generosity in terms of. See, that won't work. But there's a bit of a, like you can hit them with your ankle basically, or your toe, racking up the points. Oh. Maybe it resets when it runs out of backgrounds. Just look him. Oof. Wrecked. What? Kind of a narrow hit range there. Seconds. Can I do it? Nope. Yeah, so that's it, I think. Just get through the Buddha statue. 30-second matches. Ooh, they both tried backwards kicks. I think I'll stop watching. Whoa, he's doing like a... Jeez. See, if you don't hold the button the whole time, it bails out of a slower attack. So he like bailed out of a back kick and then waited a second, then did a full back kick and hit him. Whoa. These guys are tearing each other. Wait a second, he's got 2 half points. What the heck? Come on, I want to see what happens with... Oh, you punk. I want to see what happens with 2 half points. What the heck is that? Is that a glitch? What is it? How do you... What? How? How? What? Wait, it just went from one... What the heck's going on? He hit a guy, he got a... Maybe I'm confused. I'm probably confused. But wait, it hasn't ended. He's got 2 points and it hasn't ended. What is going on? Player 1's kind of glitched right now. Oof. Now he wins. Yeah. Oh. See, look, it just gave him a second point just after the first point without any other hit having happened. Yeah, player one's kind of glitched right now, I think. Interesting. Alright, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Way of the Exploding Fist. I'll have the download links and the Vice emulator. It's all pretty sweet. I don't think it takes a real beefy computer to run, but I don't know. I'm running it on my like 3 or 4 year old mid-range gaming laptop, I guess. Yeah, anyway, pretty sweet game. Okay, thanks for watching. Good night. Oh, and keep in mind that this is a PAL game, so you'd want to switch Vice's settings to, well, I think it defaults to PAL. If it comes up and the C64 like, you know, blinking cursor screen has a purple background instead of blue, that's PAL. If it's blue, that's NTSC, but I think it defaults to PAL because that's kind of where the C64 long-range market was. Plus, I think this is mostly made by, Vice is probably mostly made by Europeans, at least it was started by Europeans, so makes sense here. But actually, I think by default, well, no, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is running in 50 frames per second, this game. I think that's what it was designed for. Okay, that's it. Good night.